Hello, Winchester volleyball parents. My name is Mark Melhorn. I am Johanna's dad, number five, middle. You might have heard of her. And I'm here today. I wanted to introduce you to some of the power rankings and general rankings because the Boston Globe has something very interesting and exciting for us this year. These things are a bit complicated, and I know not everybody is familiar with this, so I thought it might be worth to spend a video on this. I want to start briefly with the boss, very exciting. The Boston Globe at this point ranks our team, as you probably know, as the number one in the state. They said this is basically a ranking by the Globe journalists or sports journalists, what they've seen. They go around at the two different games, write articles for good games typically, and then highlight some of the players that are doing very well. And we have been at the receiving end for a couple of our players, or maybe more than a couple of our players so far for that. But the Globe ranking is mainly bragging rights for the game, for the girls, also, for everybody else, neighbors, friends to recognize. What is more important almost is what determines the playoff bracket. And this is something to be found at the MIAA website. For those of you that are not familiar with this, MIAA.net. If you navigate there, you can scroll down and you will come to the Tournament Central. There are power rankings and the brackets. The brackets uh, will be interesting later when the state tournament is going on after the regular season is over. For now, we're looking at the power rankings, volleyball, which is girls volleyball for the fall, and then the divisions 1 through 5. Winchester is in Division 1 and currently listed here at sixth place. You will see in the power rankings the sets won and the games won, the games lost. In this case, for example, Brookline lost more games than Winchester, but is ranked above it. And this is oftentimes due to a higher opponent rating. And I'll get into this for a second. Winchester this year is very strong in the average margin, which is determined by the number of sets that are lost. Uh, um, so it's the difference between the sets lost over the sets won divided by the number of games played. So yeah, for those that want to do the math later on, feel free to reach out to me. But so here it is, for example, after the Wakefield game, there were 33 sets won, two lost, which gave us an average margin of 2.81. Here's the formula for Excel. And the opponent rating, which I put here together, was 1.62. Total rating of 4.4447. What you will see as we move forward, we will play a team such as Lexington that was not yet in the rating, and Watertown, which are below 1.6, right? So as we play these, our rating score will actually drop. After the Lexington game now, it's not official, but it will drop by roughly 0.02 points. And after the Watertown game, because the rating is negative 1.3, we will be dropping to roughly 4.21. Um, Now, if you go back then, if you look into the power rankings, you will see that maybe it has changed. Maybe Winchester is no longer in sixth place, but in seventh place, although they have won two games. And this is really the reason why. Now, um, a lot of the teams or most of the teams, 16 out of the 20 games that we play are against opponents from the Middlesex League, which are highlighted here. And these are the opponents' power rankings right now, ratings right now, uh, up to this point. And this is where, it's important to say thank you to Coach Fleming because he was able to get a couple really strong teams into this year's season, which Brookline, which has a very high power rating, was a state finalist last year, who played Newton in the state final. So these both really help out to bring our um, opponent rating up. Same thing for Bellingham, which was, believe, in the D3 final. Or I think they won the D4 finalists last year, and they moved up to D3 this year. And Barnstable is always typically always a very strong opponent. This year, they're still far above our opponents, which gives you an understanding. Wakefield, actually, who we just dropped a set to, they were had a ranking of 2.65, which is up to today the second highest team we've played. Bellingham on Friday, October 10th, will be a very strong opponent as well. Yes, that's basically it. If everything goes perfect and no more sets are being dropped, they can have an average margin of 2.9, which would be, fabulous. I don't think this is necessarily the goal that needs to be put pressure on the kids, but it's possible. And with all these numbers, it is technically speaking a possibility for them to clinch position 4 in the power ratings or rankings. Sorry. Now, why is this important? It basically determines how many playoff home games you will have once you reach the state championship. 1 through 4 will have the games all the way to the quarterfinal, round of 8. 1 through 8 will have home games up to the round of 16s. And then beyond that, you have actually, if you're the top 16, you have the round of 32 at home. So who knows what happens this year? But it looks like we might, if we survive the first rounds, have a couple of games at home there. And this will be very exciting. And if things go even better, which we may dream about, but we shouldn't put any pressure on anybody. Maybe even a third game at home, which would be fantastic. So thank you. I hope this cleared up some of the questions you might have had about why this is and what this is about. And yes, it doesn't feel always fair, but it is the best we have right now available. So thank you, and see you soon.